Hello and welcome to AWS On Air. We're coming to you live from the Expo Hall here at the AWS Summit in San Francisco. My name is Steve Roberts. I'm a developer advocate for .NET and PowerShell, working in the EC2 team. And we're going to be with you for the next 2 days reporting on news and events from the summit. So to help me do that, I'm joined by a bevy of co-hosts here. So as we're going to be here for the next 2 days, let's go down the line and introduce ourselves.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, everyone. My name is Suman Devnath. I'm a developer advocate with the Amazon EFS team, and I'm super excited to be here to talk about a few of the new launches, new updates, and a few of the programs that we have been working in the recent time. And to help us with that, I have one of our co-hosts, AM. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm AM Grabelny, and I'm just like, this isn't Coachella. I think I'm in the wrong place. Oh, okay. No, I'm actually a solutions architect here at AWS. I'm really excited to be here with you all. I'm also a cosmic dancer. That's a Mark Bolan reference for you, Steve.
Okay.
Singer of T-Rex.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tell us about you, Kyle.
Hey everybody, I'm Kyle Lee. I am a senior developer advocate on the AWS Amplify team, and I just showed up so that somebody else could wear the same type of shirt as AM.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just going to be tagging along with him for the rest of the time and see what this whole SF Summit is like. It's my first time, and I'm really excited to see what else is out there.
You picked a really, really difficult person to follow. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm going to make it very confusing for you. No, I'm just,
I'm just sad that I didn't get the memo about the hat.
I know.
Like,
what's the deal, man?
I mean, I wanted to have one just like you.
Okay, I'll buy you one. These are very hard to come by.
Okay, we're going shopping after this.
Okay.
So before we dive into what people can expect from the summit, I'm going to be called the DA Whisperer from now on because my voice is starting to go already. You've been to summits a few times. I've been a couple of times. We got a couple of newbies here. So maybe we should explain to everyone, what is a summit? How does it differ from things like, say, reInvent or our other conferences?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most important things is we're back in person.
We're back in person, which is good.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have multiple locations. We have kind of two different types of conferences. We've got these summits that are more geographically based. So we've got the San Francisco Summit, obviously, that we're at now. But we'll have the New York coming up, which we'll also be broadcasting from. We've got some special conferences, too, like the Public Sector Conference coming up in May at DC. We've got Reinforce, Remars, yeah. Yep. And so those are all purposely around different topics. Reinforce security, obviously. Public sector is, you guessed it, public sector, right? Wow, surprising. And Remars is about machine learning in space, I think. So what do you do at a summit? Well, you can watch sessions. That's a favorite of people. You can watch the keynotes. And oftentimes, especially in the SF Summit and the New York Summit, which is why we're here, we launch things, exciting new features, new services in these keynotes, or sometimes on this stage itself as well, too.
Yep. And in fact, we'll be recapping the keynote tomorrow, so Kyle will be doing that. So.
Yeah, so it's actually not just today, but we're also going to be live tomorrow. And is there anything else after that?
I think it continues on Friday a bit, but we won't be here for Friday.
Yeah, so we'll be here to give you the full experience for today and tomorrow, going over all of the amazing things. And yeah, like you had mentioned, Steve, like we're going to be talking, well, I'll be up there with you tomorrow recapping the keynote. So looking forward to that.
That's assuming I can still speak by then, of course.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. We're gonna teach you sign language, and then we're gonna have 2 interpreters up here.
We've got cardboard signs.
One of my personal favorite things to do at a summit too, because it helps me keep up to speed with what's happening in the industry outside of AWS, is to wander the expo hall. Yeah. Because we've got a lot of partners, we've got a lot of booths here where you can go learn about. We're staring at some of them right here. And most importantly, Suman, you can go get swag.
It's the swag. You have to have
swag.
Swag
Trying towards there are bags available here, so one can grab that and hop around different, partners, stalls, learn about what they're building on AWS, and also get some swags. And I guess this kind of conference has something for everyone. Like I can see there is an AWS Deep Tracer booth, so if anyone is interested in machine learning or want to get started with reinforcement learning, that is the place to be in. And there is also a training and certification booth where one can go and learn about how they can get started with certification. So it's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And if none of that interests you, then you can always get a banana.
That's true. There are bananas here. There's coffee. That's highly important to me. I don't go anywhere that there's not coffee. Kyle, who should be watching? What do you think?
So this is, great question. So essentially anybody that is in the tech industry should be watching, in my opinion. Like, the reason why I say that is because I'm a mobile developer, and normally you wouldn't expect to see, a whole bunch of mobile content that is going to be relevant to a mobile developer. But essentially, the things that are going to be covered in the show over the course of the next 2 days is going to be relevant to so many people, so many different engineers, and so many different people that work with any type of software. And you're going to probably see something that is relevant to you. So just keep an eye after this session, that you'll actually see some of the things that are going to be coming up throughout the rest of today, and then just make sure that you're continuously watching, and also let us know where you're watching from. And that's always like a really cool thing to know, like who's watching and from where.
And from where? Yeah. I know. You mentioned Deep Racer. That's going to be our first segment straight after this. So I know later on today I'm going to go and step by the Deep Racer track, because I've watched these things on videos. I've never actually seen them physically go around a track, so I'm fascinated to go and take a look at that.
And the best part about it is that it's not even like you have to understand what the technology is doing, because that's part of what we're going to be exploring ourselves, right? So there's going to be a lot of technologies that we're going to all be learning about that we're not necessarily completely familiar with, and it gives you an opportunity to be aware of what is out there, what are the different services that are being offered, and how you might be able to incorporate something new into your existing workflow.
Yeah, and to help us do that, we'll have service teams as come up as guests to chit-chat about whatever it is they're launching, the feature updates, etc. So, yeah, it's going to be cool.
Hands-on demos.
And hands-on demos.
That's totally important to me.
Yep.
I love seeing it actually working, right?
Like, you mean we're not just going to be talking to the cameras for
I'm just going to be talking to you, Kyle, for most of the time.
Works.
I mean, we match. I just
That's
feel,
all that's needed.
Yeah, I feel close to you already, buddy. Both in proximity and emotionally.
Oh,
so.
that's great.
I'm so glad you wore that hat, because I wouldn't be able to tell you apart. So,
I think one of the important things that to be in this kind of summit is you get an opportunity to talk to customers and learn how your service or product has been consumed, because there are different use cases which we typically do not know about, right? Unless until we talk to our customers. So that gives us some idea, and go back to our room and talk about it within the teams, and discuss what we can do better for our customers. And that's what or what we do at AWS, working backwards, where we learn from our customers and see what their pain points are and try to build something which will solve their problem.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the sales mantra from a famous movie, ABC, right? Always be closing.
Always be closing.
For an SA, I think it's ABL. Always be learning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? That's horrible. I'm so sorry for doing that to you.
You lost me with that movie.
Yeah.
reference, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right.
No, it doesn't matter. Coffee is for learners. That's all
Yeah,
we do.
coffee is for learners. That's true. Yeah, but that's the whole point of coming to a summit is really learning about what's out there, what's possible, what's next for you and your company, and how you can actually go and affect change in your own teams, right? And what are the tools out there that are going to help you do that?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
That's what you should hopefully get out of this, and why you should attend a summit if you're not here in person today in SF, maybe in the future.
Yeah, so like if you're watching, that's exactly what we're going to try to provide you, is the experience that since you aren't able to be here for whatever reason, we're going to try to bring you a little bit of fun and a little bit of insight into what it's like being here at the SF Summit, and show you a lot of really cool things along the way.
I never promised fun.
Oh, no, I promise fun.
Oh, okay. I was not told about the fun.
But I'm also leaving in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, you and I are going to be off.
So it's going to be up to them. It's going to be up to them to provide fun. So
No pressure. Though.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Steve, you got it, right?
Well, Steve said that he's losing his voice. So Suman,
Yeah, so
you got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon's got it. Totally got it.
All right, rock, paper, scissors virtually, right? I don't know.
I'll just sit here and smile occasionally. It'll be just fine.
Sit there and look pretty. You're doing great.
Yeah, yeah.
So we heard about Deep Racer coming up. What are some other sessions that we can talk about? I know we're going to have some training and cert.
Yep.
People come and talk to us about
Yep,
a few
so
things.
we are going to have some session from the training and certification team where they're going to talk about few of the new programs that they have launched for SysOps certification. And we are also going to talk about a few of the new launches around EC2. And we are going to talk about a few of the services we have around application migration with the orchestrator. And not only that, I'm going to talk about Amazon EFS. That's the team that I work for, and a few of the new features, and surely some cool demos around that.
Ooh.
So yeah, we are super excited about that.
That's the chance when I get to put you on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am so looking
You're
forward
in the
to
hot
that.
seat.
You and I both get to grill
Yes,
Simon, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. And we're going to hear one of my favorite services. They're all my favorite services, but one of my favorite
He
services,
just covered it
Amplify.
up.
Yeah, we're going to actually be talking about Amplify tomorrow. I have somebody from my team that is going to be going over what AWS Amplify is. Little hint, it's pretty awesome. It makes life a whole lot easier, especially for front-end and mobile developers. So it's something that's actually near and dear to my heart. But yeah, we're going to be covering a lot of stuff over the course of 2 days. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be relevant for so many different people, regardless of where you're coming from. And you're going to be able to learn a lot about what services are available.
And if you have questions, right, drop them in
Yeah.
chat.
Yep.
We'll be answering those when we can. We're going to do our best to explain concepts that maybe not everybody has, a deep knowledge of. We're going to try and talk not so much in jargon if possible, or if we need to, we'll try to explain the jargon as best as possible as well. And
Speaking in slang only, right?
absolutely,
Oh, okay.
sure, yeah. Okay, sure, yeah.
Of course, we also have subject matter experts to answer the real chat.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true too. Yes, yes. But I know personally, I can speak for myself at least, it's difficult to keep up. It's difficult to learn new things. Things are always changing in tech, and everything is important, right? Everything is the most important thing to happen ever in tech. Definitely hard to actually ascertain what to prioritize. So, we'll be here to try and help get you in line with what to learn next, what to look at, what to pay attention to. We'll be highlighting all of those things.
Yeah, so for anybody that hasn't seen an episode of AWS on Air, just a little bit of a breakdown on how these sessions usually work. What we generally do is we bring somebody up from the service team that's going to represent the product, and they're going to go over it. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the product, what it does, why does it exist, and then after we do a little bit of learning, we should be seeing demos for a lot of these different products so that you can actually see what it means to be hands-on with when you're working with the service itself, and how you might actually end up start using it with your existing workflow depending on whatever it is. So that's just kind of a breakdown. You'll be able to see a lot of different services over the course of today and tomorrow, and we're going to be breaking it down for anybody that doesn't know what the service is, doesn't understand where it fits in, so that you can actually understand if this is something that's going to be relevant for you and whatever applications you might be working on.
A thought just occurred to me too. I'm sitting up here with 3 developer advocates. What do you all do? What is that job?
I think that's a great question. I think this is one of the questions that we often get, because
Yeah.
it's not a typical role that we often see in all the organization. So the DA role, or the developer advocate role, or tech evangelist, we have a lot of names for our role. What we generally do is we help our developers to come on board and make use of our service and products for their application. So what that essentially means is we write a lot of code for demos, we develop workshop content, and we share it to the developer community. We talk to AWS, talk at various AWS user groups, and participate at various events like Summit, reInvent, and all of that. So it's a lot of fun, and we do travel a lot. I think
we did.
I think Steve and AM, you have been with AWS for a long time. I'm very sure that half of your time were on the air, right?
Yeah.
Real on the air.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
That's
But we
true.
also talk to service teams.
Yep.
Right.
So we represent our various tech communities on the service side level. So something comes new in .NET or PowerShell, where it happens to be, we go and talk to the service team and say, hey, how are we going to support this? What's the experience going to be like? And represent basically our customer base who are using that tech stack with the service teams. So it's a kind of a dual role, effectively.
On my job description, it just said become internet famous. So
Well, you've done that already. Right?
why do you think I'm here?
TikTok star, right? Like that's,
I was supposed to do like the little dances and
Okay.
all the
What
trends.
makes you famous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You mean you don't have to work? You'll be telling me you get paid next.
Wow. Wow. Very different job than the one I have.
So what
Sounds
do
exciting.
you do?
So what do you do then?
Why would you ask me that question live on air? That's so rude. God, you're going to make me justify my existence?
Well, yes.
Oh, well.
I'm gonna need KPIs as well.
Yeah, should I give you my metrics? Yeah.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes left, so let's go for it.
Well, I'll write up my doc to review, but in the meantime, I'm a solution architect at AWS. I actually have a very special role inside AWS in terms of solution architects. I'm on the solution architect enablement team, which is kind of unique. There are only a couple of us right now.
Yep.
You may know Rudy Chetty. He's kind of a star, definitely internally at AWS because he runs all of our internal development content for SAs. But what an SA does, right? An SA has customer engagements. We're assigned groups of customers or maybe a single customer, depending upon your geography or what segment you fall into. There are different segments like startup, public sector, strategic. So you may have 1 to thousands of customers that you support, and you're there as their trusted advisor. Not the service.
Not the service.
You're the
To be
human.
clear, not the service.
The human trusted advisor. And you're there to make sure that the objectives that they have for their business align with the technology choices that they're making. Being an architect's, equal amounts business acumen as it is tech acumen. It's an interesting path to walk down because you're often making trade-offs based off of things that are not technical, like budget or compliance. You may pick a tool because it fits into PCI and you need PCI for whatever you're doing. So you really have to juggle a lot of competing interests.
And even cost, right? So
Yeah.
it's very important that one of the crucial role of any SA, I've been working with a lot of solution architects across India and in the US, and I've seen that they always try to help customers how they can reduce the cost,
Yes.
right? And that is very, very important to optimize the cost because the number of services that we have, there are different ways to build a particular application. So we always try to help the customers, how they can optimize their cost and do more with less.
Yeah.
So we're all here to help, but the closeness that you get with customers is a little bit different than the closest that we get with customers. We're kind of on a bigger, like a broader fishnet, and
Yeah.
you're like more focused on helping people specifically with specific problems.
And we're not alone either. We have account managers that help. We've got technical account managers that help as well. We've got customer success managers. There's a whole technical field team that is out there actively working with customers alongside the solution architects too. So we're all a massive team out there to help customers
Yeah.
get what they need and get it done.
Yep.
All right. Well, Steve, for anybody that's joining late, what are we doing here and what's happening next?
So we are here for 2 days at the summit, presenting live from the Expo Hall. The general hubbub around us. It's great to be back in person. So we're going to be recording, getting new sessions, launches, etc., conveying that to you, interviewing guest hosts from the service teams, and we're going to be having a lot of fun while we're doing it. Or at least I hope we are.
Yep. No, fun is guaranteed. We've already guaranteed.
Kyle guaranteed it for us for sure. So
Yeah.
I'll come in line. I'll have fun too.
All right. There we go.
If you insist.
There we
If you
go.
insist. All right, we have a few seconds left, and then we're going to transition to our first session,
Oh, okay.
which is going to be about AWS Deep Racer. So I'm really
Awesome.
excited to look into this one.
So we're going to learn about what that even is,
what it is, and new
why
updates,
is
new
it
features.
so cool.
Yeah.
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 Stick around.
Stick around. We'll see you shortly.
Right back.